Targeting in Forsaken. This is a bit of a debated / controversial topic I've seen in the Forsaken community that I wanted to talk about today. I assume you clicked on this video knowing what targeting is already, but let me explain it in short for you if you're unaware. Targeting is when a killer singles out a specific survivor and chases them the whole time until they eventually run out of stamina and die, or they outrun the killer the entire time. The killer does not switch targets during this, they only focus on the targeted survivor. I'll throw my opinion in the ring first. I personally don't think targeting is an issue. It is annoying sometimes, yes, but it's also very necessary sometimes for the killer to get a win. So you might be asking, well, why do people target? Well, that's the whole point of this video, so strap in because I'm talking about targeting in Forsaken and why, in my opinion, it is sometimes useful and or necessary. Part 1. Targeting Origins. As I explained before, where does targeting come from? Well, the best example is from the game Dead by Daylight, which directly inspired Forsaken. However, there it is referred to as tunneling, and what this means is effectively the same thing in Forsaken, where you single a specific person out and make sure you kill them or they run you around the whole time. In Dead by Daylight, however, they don't immediately die, and instead they have to be hooked 3 times in order to die. Thankfully, it's not as drawn out in Forsaken, as when you die, it's game over, and you have to endure it 3 times on Dead by Daylight. I honestly feel like targeting in Forsaken actually developed quite naturally for the community, as it was going to happen anyways. As time went on, since more players started to understand how to play the game, what characters to prioritize, and what each strength each killer has. I'm going to show you the 5 current Forsaken killers, and you tell me if you notice a difference between all of them, not based on their design, but based off of how their kit plays in Forsaken. Have you had enough time? Well, if you picked Jason, then you have a good eye. Jason has no ranged attacks compared to the other characters, and he is a full melee character, meaning he has to close the gap to do any real damage to the survivor. Plus, Jason has built a reputation in the Forsaken community for one specific thing: targeting. And why is that? Well, let's move into our next segment, Part 2, Jason Voorhees. Jason players in the Forsaken community are usually stereotyped as targeters, and I can see why, but I also understand why, which might be where the casual level players in the community don't really understand and can get frustrated seeing a higher level Jason with an expensive skin. Jason is known as a targeter, and I honestly feel like it's very intentional on the developer's part. His kit is amazing for soloing survivors out, and it's heavily encouraged to do so since he can't divide up pressure as effectively as the other killers, and he has no ranged attack or way of slowing down survivors or speeding himself up to catch them. This is actually pretty accurate to his characters in the movies, killing the victims one by one until it's down to the final victim. Think back on the words I said a few moments ago where we discussed how Jason is the only non-ranged killer, meaning he has no way to hit people from afar or split up his offense or map pressure, and this is a very important phrase to note. Killers like 1X, Cool Kid, John Doe, and Noli all have ways to hit survivors from afar with range attacks. With 1X and Cool Kid, they have minions they can also spawn to distract or catch survivors off guard and keep them off generators, allowing them to split up their damage and their pressure. John Doe, however, can place traps and spikes to keep survivors off of generators or lock down key looping points to make it easier for him to trap in and kill somebody. Noli can teleport to gens, throw a void star, and has an insane rush attack to cross the whole map and hit survivors if they want to. Noli also has hallucinations that can throw off survivors, making them paranoid and hop off generators, thus giving you some map pressure. Now let's talk about Jason. Jason, on the other hand, has no traps, no ranged abilities, no speed buffs, meaning realistically speaking, Jason is the weakest killer in the game, but that doesn't mean that he's bad or that someone can't perform well as Jason. I should know, I'm a Jason main after all. Jason can also hit multiple people with his kit as well, but he can't hit someone from across the stage like these other killers can, or have minions and traps to dissuade survivors from coming to the rescue. He can struggle in last man standing, however, as he can't trap the survivor in the corner, summon minions to corral them, entangle them, or throw a star to bring them back, meaning he has to close the gap to them and just swing normally. Jason needs to always be pressuring a single person, as if he tries to split off and attack multiple people, he's putting himself at a disadvantage, allowing the survivor to find an Elliot, medkit, or dispenser. But this can be true for most killers as well, and is not a Jason exclusive issue. It's just that it's easier for other killers to switch up and go after different characters, while Jason typically can't do this. Now, how would I fix this as a developer? Well, me personally, I think it's fine, and it doesn't really need changing, as I think it's pretty accurate to Jason's character in the films, minus the chainsaw. Plus, I don't know how you would really change it anyways, other than maybe giving him a teleport function like Noli, but I think his kit is fine as is. Anyways, enough talking about our hockey mask homing missile, let's move on to the next part that actually talks about targeting. Part 3, why killers target. Killers can target for a multitude of reasons. I'll name a few off for you before we talk about the big point, however. There could be more reasons than this. So these are just a few that I can list off the top of my head. Maybe they are playing with their friends and want to kill their friends first. Maybe they're wanting to hear plead or creation of hatred because they're playing 007, Cool Kid, or Shaletsky in 1X. Maybe they're being douchebags and targeting newer players or people they think might be annoying, like someone with lots of playtime in the game. Maybe they spent way too long chasing a specific person and need to get some time added to the clock. But who knows? There's so many different reasons people target in Forsaken, but I'm going to list off the most common one I see, and it's also probably the main reason that when you play Elliot, you tend to die first every round. Most of the time, the reason you are being targeted is because your existence is a threat to the killer's ability to win the game. And that could be for a multitude of reasons. Maybe you're great at managing your stamina and looping the killer. Maybe you always land your backstabs, punches, or sword stuns. Or maybe you're playing a support character that actively hurts the killer when they leave you alive, as you are able to keep the rest of your team alive. What are those characters, you might be asking? Well, let's go over that now. Part 4, priority targets. To understand why playing a certain character might get you targeted, first you need to understand what every character's role is and what they do. I won't go too in depth on all these characters' kits, but let me set up some groups for you real fast. Group 1, the support characters. This group is made up of characters that can heal and provide support with buildings or traps such as Elliot, Deucecar, Taff, and Builderman. Group 2, survivalists. This group is made up of 007 and Noob, as they're made to keep themselves alive and hide from the killer. Group 3, sentinels. This final group is made up of characters who can stun and distract the killers, such as Guest, Shaletsky, Chance, and Two Time. Group 1 always is the top priority for targeting out of the game, as leaving these characters alive will make the killer's life a nightmare, especially Elliot as the game progresses, because of his slice of pizza being able to heal survivors up. And when the clock's ticking down and you have someone on low health and an Elliot comes out of nowhere to drop them a pizza slice, then you've just lost a bunch of progress you've made. Deucecar is also a top choice for targeting because of the shield and the slowdown abilities this character possesses, but they're typically not as big of an issue as Elliot is. Taff and Builderman are just kinda there. The turret's annoying, the traps and the tripwires are annoying, but they're pretty easy to deal with. Now, I'm not saying you need to stop playing these characters to prevent getting targeted. However, you do need to lock in and use some strategy when you are playing a support character. You need to be smart and aware when playing these characters, since you're a huge priority target. Map positioning is a pretty important concept to learn, not just as a support character, but just in general when playing Forsaken, as if you're caught out in the open and out of position with your pants around your ankles, you're probably going to get targeted. Use your camera to your advantage, please. You can see far and wide with this thing, and you can use it to peek around corners to see the action while staying out of sight and waiting for someone to get low enough so you can run in and heal them. Also keep in mind that when your ability's on cooldown, you need to hide or do generators far away from the killer as possible, as you're pretty much useless without your abilities unless you're super confident in your looping ability. But at that point, you're probably not playing a support character, you're probably playing someone like Guest, because when you stay alive longer as a support, you can also help your team stay alive longer in return. So learning these key points are actually pretty helpful for learning the game in general, and it can help you when you play killer as well. Items are also a crucial thing to keep in mind. In the event that you are being targeted, a block to cola is a perfect tool to assist in your escape, as if you manage to drink it, you get a gargantuan speed speed boost that lasts for a short period of time. Medkits are also very important, as if you're low on health and manage to escape momentarily, if you have one, then you can heal yourself to prepare for the next chase. However, do be warned, as these items take a second to use, so please don't try to pop them mid-chase, because that typically wastes distance you could have gotten from running, and it usually gets you killed. Sometimes you can get targeted just for holding a certain item like a medkit, and the killer obviously doesn't want to let you run away and heal with it, so don't go flashing your items around like you're trying to blind Foxy down a hallway. Now, let's head into our final part, reflection. Targeting in Forsaken is just going to happen sometimes. Maybe not to you, but maybe it can happen to someone else in your server. Obviously, it's not fun to die first, as you have to sit there and spectate the entire game while your teammates run around getting stuns and malice points, and spectating all the time is boring anyways. But before you type that 8-letter word in chat, take into account some of the things we've discussed so far today, and reflect on your own actions as well before typing, such as, am I playing a priority character like Elliot or another supporter? Are my teammates newer to the game and I'm the most experienced one here? Has the killer chased me the whole match and is now running short on time and needs a kill to extend the clock? Or maybe it's one of the other plethora of reasons it could be. Sometimes you just never know why you get targeted, and sometimes maybe it's just not even a you issue. And hey, maybe sometimes you didn't do anything wrong and you're just playing casually, or you just joined the server, but you got targeted, and that's fine. It's just a natural part of the game and it's going to happen. Just understand that it's not the end of the world and that there's always the next game. The past is the past. It's no use getting upset over a round you played 30 minutes ago, as you can't go back in time and change your fate. Just raise your head, take a deep breath, and head into the next round. And if you're not having fun and are getting upset, that's completely fine, and it happens to the best of us. Just take a second to cool your nerves and maybe put on your favorite song, go get a quick snack and drink, or just chill for a minute, because you got this, champ. Just readjust that crown on your head and head into the next round with confidence. Just remember that at the end of the day, it is a video game, and targeting is a natural part of the game. Sure, it's not a very fun part of the game, but it is just going to happen sometimes, and it's part of the gameplay loop. Maybe you've targeted someone before, and that's completely fine. Just understand that targeting is needed for certain situations, and just don't let it get to you and just shrug it off. Anyways, I think you get the point now, and instead of making this video longer than it needs to be, it's time to wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching my rambling video on targeting in Forsaken, and if you've made it this far, leave a comment on your favorite killer or skin in the game. If you like what you see, then please subscribe and leave a like and a comment if you want to show your support. I also make Forsaken gameplay videos, and you should check those out as well. Let me know what kind of Forsaken videos you want to see on my channel, as I do mainly do PvZ content, but I'm also going to make Forsaken a mainstay on this channel, so leave some ideas below. And if you want to throw some extra support my way, then check out channel memberships. You'll get some tasty cinnamon rolls as channel badges, and you'll get some groovy emotes based off of me as well. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, week, month, whichever comes first, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.